Okay, so where else can we try to go now? I will prepare the tackle, Jester. They had fun with her just being awful all the time, didn't they? Look at this giant pile of dumb. Okay, we could try Iox. Where's that orange beam even going? I'm not sure. That's a little confusing. Yeah, we might want to go to Iox because Huang, we did give him a time-sensitive thing to process. Maybe he will have wrapped that up. Go right here. I know a better way. Okay, but next it says to go left. Assuming assuming the arrows are still where you're saying to go. Perhaps the site was once entirely underwater. The shells we found lived on the ancient aquifer. Perhaps the boat we found was used to travel on the surface. Just a normal boat. Just an innocent boat. That someone harvested that water using hoppers. And the system has been working ever since. Iox itself relies on it. Over time, 2 of the discs failed and the water level built up. Enough to saturate the soil and allow the forest to grow. Check out that background. You know, I think that if we let that place build up, the water might create its own river. It's apparently just running off the moons. Apparently the water just runs off these springs, and that's what causes all these rivers to happen through space. So we need to recreate the river that once was. It's probably one of those. Tell me about the darkness you mentioned. The darkness is coming. And only the vault can turn it back. Why? Heaven's Vault. What is it? Is this the vault that Remba's ghost was talking about? The robots who ran the Empire knew, but they did nothing. Which robots? The robots on Elbereth, of course. The ones I deposed. We've hit the threshold. I'm impressed. There's been a couple lulls, but overall I'm pretty impressed by how consistently, like, each location has a revelation. So the game's pretty well paced. Can you put your cape up over your head again, please? That feels strangely phrased. It's so creepy. Understandably. I'm wearing your robot's face. We'd heard that the seventh god has a temple on the outside edges of the nebula. Is that temple Heaven's Vault? Alright. What should I be thinking about 6 at this point? I'm just worried a bit by that. Aliya, always a pleasure. I've got a few things for the curators. Glad to hear it. What do you make of this jar? Let me see that. There's a compacted inscription. I recognize words in there, but I don't know what it means. Oh! I'm scared. Let's find out where I'm wrong. Oops. Cross out myself. Isn't that the symbol for river? Like, I feel like I've seen the river, the symbol on the far left before. This doesn't feel right. There we go. No. Still narrowing it down. Okay, now we're counting. Now we're just counting the word one. We don't want to include that. I guess the dots. Aren't the dots usually inside of a word? So you can't use the word one because the person icon and the one are probably the same symbol. I was thinking something similar in that I wouldn't want to include that comma with the mountain. The bottom comma. Because the apostrophe implies the words are joined. I wouldn't want to include the comma X person's part. Because the X, I think, is also always in the middle of a word and not the beginning of it. So the comma X person dot bowl is probably one word. Yep. Treasures. This is definitely water. It's very slightly different from the water symbol. It's probably drink. Drink Raka. And here, read Star Watch. So here is similar to observing. Hear of treasures of endless skies. Does drink Raka and hear of treasures of endless skies make more sense? Thanks, Wing. Interesting. I've seen something similar, I think. And it also had script. Now, where was it? Really gotta tidy up sometime. Am I playing? This was written on a piece of glass bottle. It's found floating in the cyclones. I don't know if it's related, of course. He almost never stopped moving for that long, so I thought I was supposed to, like, take the opportunity to steal stuff in his apartment. Go poking around, because he stood there for long enough that without any little animation to indicate he was currently looking, that I was like, am I supposed to take advantage of this moment? Am I supposed to take a look around? So the comma separates words, so going right up to the comma and not going past it or stopping early is good. Oh. Commas in this word. The apostrophe. The apostrophes usually aren't in the words. Drown. We're getting all the water terms down. Drown yourself in this cup. Definitely water related, so probably cup because it holds water. I can still change my mind, but drown yourself in this cup. Do you have any more like that? Keep just complete old water language. Let me see. How about this? It's a picture of a metal pitcher. It was found while exploring under the canteen here on Iox back in the predecessors. It's one of several words. Yeah, it fades away like the instant the text populates, which means that even if you're not reading out loud, you potentially have trouble reading it at all still. Could include the comma. Yep. Something that means many, or many of something. Something my something. Hold long nebula. Help fair value. Similar to the word fair. So fair is an extrapolated extension and life version of this word. It's probably truth. Let's illuminate or share my truth. Illuminate would be better if there was light. There's no light symbol. The vertical lines. Instead we have those hashes that just mean many. So share my truth. That will do for now. You have any more like that? Let me see. No, nothing comes to mind. The curators will be most interested in the jar, I'm sure. Take it. Good faith to you. I'll be back shortly. Oh, he leaves. Guess this is a chance to look around. Any chance that you have to give something away always makes me a little worried. Like it might be a choice that leads to a different outcome that you don't want if you needed it later. You probably still end the game regardless, but there might be forks and branches. Back to the ship? Perhaps we should leave now. Not yet. Where'd Huang go? Which Empress were you? I am the Empress. The first. You hybrid yourself into a robot. You died so you could live forever. An empire must have foundation, a greatness to keep it sound. The Emperor forever, the Emperor undying. I offered myself to be the beating heart of the empire I created. There were others after you. That place was used to capture children. I know that, of course. They rose like a wind from the withering palace with me. We took Iox together. It was glorious. You overthrew the robot empire. How? Ah, now there is a secret you already know. Control words. Robots can be controlled by words of spoken ancient. You discovered that, but you can be controlled that way too. Just try it, human. It's terrifying, you know? If you're an empress, then who were all those other robots that I lost? I mean, 4 fell in a canyon. It might have been, what? A poet, a great musician, anything. Cease this jabbering. It is distressing. Now that you've learned that you should have respected them as people, it's a bit messed up what you did. Listen, Huang. Have you heard of a place called Heaven's Vault? Of course. Heaven's Vault is a children's story. But I suppose parents don't tell it on Elbereth. And it isn't a place exactly. Anyway, the Mosway you gave me does mention it, as it happens. There's a whole section about the wreck of the vault washing up. Let's see. Washing up beyond the knot of the rivers. I didn't have any parents to tell me stories. Oh, yes. Of course. You said Heaven's Vault was a story? What story? You don't know it? Miyari could tell it to you. You'd know it better than me. Another reason to go to Miyari. Found a book you might be interested in. Let's see now. This is ancient. I mean, truly ancient. Where did you find it? Can you read it? No, definitely not. I mean, I don't think so. Isn't that exciting? There's an inscription. I read it as sit by fire and read me. You know, I'm sure you're right on sit. I mixed it up. I said the other line. I'm glad you agree. How are things down here? The Moswai has kept me pretty busy, Aliya. I made some nice discoveries out there. Let's see them then. I found this oil burner. Now, need something else like that if I remember right. Only this one was inscribed. Let me see now. Yes, this is it. You have so much stuff in here, I'm just like, let me look at all your stuff. I get a jump start on so many things. It was an iron lamp. It was found in Renaki. There's a few words in this one. Yeah, this is a big one. This here is a big one. So our is us, but with the dot and apostrophe, which is good because I can't fill those otherwise. But us can go here. Take. Can. Elbereth, I do not think you have enough information to read this. Our... Take us? Do you have any more like that? Let me see. No, nothing comes to mind. Shall I archive the oil burner? Take it. Good faith to you. I'll be back shortly. I need to stop telling him to archive things. The fact that he leaves is brutal. I don't think she can look around. If the stuff's just lying around, then I would like to investigate it. Who knows what kind of inscriptions they might have for me. It's funny when we're on the other planet and she says that she doesn't have hands, because like, oh right, she doesn't. The head and hands are holograms. The robots can't pick things up. Not quite. Not in the obvious way. Those terminals were in some way designed for them to be used. They might just physically lean on them with their chassis. The height that they're at and the angle that they're at. It might work that way. I'm bored of this place. Can we leave yet? Not just yet. I kind of want to leave too, but we've got to stick it out. Where did they find this device? The one at the side of the Withering Palace. Was it the Great Forge? It was found on a deeply forested moon, out in turbulent waters. Would you be pleased or horrified if I told you how many died locating it? You sent people to their deaths? Such is the duty and privilege of an empress. Shockingly, she's awful. Who could have guessed? Can I not talk to him anymore? Do I just have to leave? I guess that was the extent of it. Alright, well. It seemed like there was more options. Maybe they just really want you to keep visiting and revisiting. I suppose it was from you. That's how Remba learned about that buried ship he went digging for. Naturally. I guess 6 never existed. 6 was just a fragment of this person. Back on Iox, Huang mentioned a reference in the Mazwai to a knot of rivers. A place somehow linked to Heaven's Vault. What is this place? Back there. We miss a link to Heaven's Vault down there. Such a description could be anywhere, Aliya. The number of thoughts that get interrupted. The timeline is calling Enki 6 still, not Enki. Fuck, whatever, names. The timeline is still referring to them as 6. Like, this character learned this thing from them, and this character learned this thing from them, and it still refers to them as 6, so I guess maybe 6 was always a fragment of this person, and this is just what they're like with all their memories back, and we didn't necessarily kill them or something. Aliya. Good faith to you. We made some language progress. It didn't feel like a huge breakthrough necessarily. Got some booze terms figured out. Yeah, they're suggesting that I can use the aquifer to fly back. I don't know enough about this place to find it. Maybe I need to go to Elbereth then. I don't know what I'll do on Elbereth. I might just need to trade for more relics. I don't know. But I want to find everything, and it feels like if I go across the expanse to the big place, it might be the ending or something. I feel like we're getting late. Because they keep talking about the big objective. So I would like to, if I can, find everything. There's something over on the left that I have not found yet. I don't know what combination of relics I might need. Gotta see what I can trade. It might just be a matter of going to these two people that you can trade relics with. Maybe I've been too precious with my relics and undertraded. It's also just visiting two homes a whole lot for the sake of trying to trade these relics. Could also do it for Ali, if I wanted to. But it warps to a place that I already know how to get to. And could strand me. Though apparently the gate tells them where my where the property is, so they apparently she'll find me and help me. Yeah, at this point, basically everyone I know is in the same location. I can't believe the people here talk ancient. This place must be old. Older than Iox, maybe. This place probably had a wellspring. At least from one of the hoppers, and then it broke. And that changed history without anyone even remembering to know that. Aliya, I don't know when I've seen you so often. My dear, you're always welcome, of course. I found a few items you might be interested in. Oh, yes? An ancient times period sextant. Very nice. Wonderful. I have a soft spot for contraptions, as you know. I might be able to make you an offer. I'm a bit defensive of anything that says Heaven's Vault on it, like it might be plot heavy and important, but it doesn't feel like you can technically fail this game. You just not find things potentially, and like, if I'm not finding stuff and I'm trying to figure out stuff, then like, this kind of item might be what I need to, like it might be that its Heaven's Vault connection is a hint to trigger something with it, as opposed to being protective of it. Yes, this is it. A curious silver telescope. There's something carved on the casing. This is fractured. Is it a working telescope? Can I take it to one of those broken places and put it in where I wasn't able to look at them before? Save. Locking that one in. Can't see what you're basing that on. Again and day. Something and something will save us. And that's all locked in. People as a suggestion twice. Again and day, so it could be time. High Path River. Winds. Time and winds will save us. If you're right about this, I'm going to be amazed. Okay, rude. This time and winds will save us makes sense. Obviously, a child could have told you that. What? Device for watching winds and flows of the rivers. Invaluable, especially if you didn't have a robot. Most likely this comes from the same site as the book I found here earlier. It should help us work out where to look for that ancient site. Here we go. So, you've inspected the goods, the telescope for your sextant. You have a deal. What a fine piece. I use the telescopes. I picked up a few more odd items you might be interested in. Oh, yes? This is an ancient compass. Nice enough. No matter. I might be able to do a little distance with that. I have something of a similar period, I think. Here we are. It's amusing that she can cut in when I'm doing it and question what I'm doing. A river chart. Doesn't have any marked symbols along the line of flow. I'd guess this comes from the same place as the telescope and book. This should make its location easy to find. That's yeah, it's big progress then. Okay. If it's an out-of-date river chart that could tell us where stuff was, that could be a huge deal. But I don't get to know. I think this looks rather good here. It would take me some time to set up buyers for what you've given me, so... Anything more, let me consider another time, my fine lady. So, Toppy. How are things on Elbereth? You know, much the same. Apart from poor Oroy here. Will you move back? I seem to be stuck here. I'm sorry, Oroy. I really am. Whatever you say, Aliya. Well, it certainly condenses the people I know. See you later, Toppy. Take care of yourself out there. Why don't you say bye to Oroy? Bye to Oroy. I'll see you around, Aliya. We had 3 locations to visit on this planet, and now we're down to 1. It's 1 person left and 2 people merged. But then, as if to offset that convenience, I now have to walk the whole path back both ways because my robot will no longer hopper me back. Only my robot could hopper me to Toppy's house, since I don't think there's much else to do in this world anymore. I don't know if the kid would have been better off on a different planet or not. As is often the case, it's just a big choice to make on the fly. Okay, so now I was right. We did get enough to find that site. So I guess when the 2 HQs are marked, even though there's not an obvious objective, because when I highlight them, it doesn't tell me anything that I can actually do there. So I was like, so when I see it all orange, I'm like, did I forget something? Are they trying to remind me of something? And then I check and there's nothing there. But even if the objective pop-up highlight thing isn't really giving me a thing to remind me of, there are 2 people that you can turn treasures into, and those can give you enough of a narrowing down to be able to continue. There we go. Pointing me back towards Iox again, probably for the same reason. A little frustrating that I wanted to keep trading with them, but it's like they throttle me. I guess it might be to get you to split how much you're giving between the two locations. I don't know if there's like outcomes to the narrative that come from giving them to specific people. I'm always, of course, nervous that I'll trade a key item that I need to accomplish something. Let's see how far NK takes us. So she doesn't know how to read, but she does know how to... Oop. That's the long way from Alberith. Okay, not the worst skipping ahead. The robots invented the Great Loop. They devised a way to minimize human suffering at the thought of death. Oh. We're just coming out and saying it, huh? But they did it purely to minimize their own suffering. That makes a lot of sense. Most people prefer to believe it. People don't like things going to waste. Oh, got another chance to skip a bit. Just came out and said that the Great Loop is just an invention the robots made. Oh, humans are very anxious about dying. What if we convince them that, you know, life repeats, so everyone's immortal, actually? Whoa. Perhaps there was a telescope device in the stand on the roof in the ruin near Mercy. Perhaps Janiki took it. That might imply our telescope contained extractable data. Available data suggests the ancient site is somewhere nearby. Might suggest turning right. Back then? Or like sometime in the future? When doth right come? Am I off course? Now we're going deeper. When was I supposed to turn right? Maybe she took too long to say it, because it was right after I took a turn. Turn right now. Alberethian. There's some kind of ruin approaching to the right. Are we actually going to get data this time? Because we often don't. No. Yeah, the number of floating ruins. I'm still entertaining my pet theory that this is just like, this is all Earth. Earth exploded. All of its pieces are somehow inhabitable. Just kind of floating in a nebula together. And that's why each piece is this weird chunk. Every time we approach something to land on it, it doesn't look like a planet. Or even a planetoid. Like, it's not shaped like a planet. It's just like, there's some weird spires and rocks. This one looks like Pride Rock from The Lion King. I was like, what the fuck? I'm happy what I'm landing on. What does that even mean? is an area of weaker flow, Aliya. Means we're probably close. Which way? I do not know, fool. I'm starting to think that empresses might not be great people. Who knew that the rulers of an entire organization might be, an entire country might be like ignorant and power hungry? The fact that she took out Iox simply because it became bad to her is itself very questionable. Because, like, what does she value? If she thinks that she's so above people that she can remake... fuck. Okay, there we go. She seems like the type that would remake reality in her own image based on a whim and a preference. So the accusation of selfishness is ironic. Because of course she's probably deeply selfish, but frames it as knowing better over all these dumb little children that make up the universe. A lot of rocks. Whoa! It would seem we have not gone down either of these paths before. Why am I going so fast now? Oh my goodness. No, the wrong way. The hubris. Damn it. I didn't mean to fall off, but it just... That's so much speed. It saves you so much time compared to how slowly you were going otherwise. It's just... I've already said I don't like the flying very much, and I especially don't really like those moments where it just feels so tedious to be slowly poking our way across that map. So when I suddenly go rocketing every now and then, I don't know what's causing that, but it's... Like, I can't help but try to lean on it. Just sometimes you close your sails and it just takes off. I don't know if it's a glitch. It doesn't match up with any of the explanations of the mechanics we've gotten so far. Unfortunately, I think I recognize this path, so I think I just started over the entire thing in my hubris. My hubris! I thought the sparks were supposed to get taken away, wiped out by my sailing, though. They are all here again. But I can see why you might implement it a certain way. If they disappeared entirely, it'd be very confusing because you can clear out all of the sparks on the perimeter and then not know where the stuff deeper in is that you might have found. So I think they might have the paths light up if they do lead towards a place you've never been to before. Oh, here we go again. How does this work? Dude, I am rocking. I think I went right last time, so I want to go left this time. Do not turn right, Aliya. Here's something. Dude, this place is huge. It would take forever to get here without the speed boost. That turning will take us back to the rivers. Structure's barely intact. Aw. We're no longer within our search zone. Oh, it's because I wiped that out. Speed boost? Yeah, without the speed boost, I feel my will to live sapping because of how slowly you move. I don't entirely know what to make of it either. Oops. No. Okay, pass control, that's good. Yeah, I hate this, if I'm being honest. It just controls like shit, everything looks the same, I don't know what I'm looking for. And perhaps even more unrewardingly, every time I do find a ruin, the game's like, nah, that one doesn't have anything. That was a fake, dumb, bad ruin, actually. I'm like, well then fucking, what am I doing here? My eyes is just turning right, thanks. I think he's told me right when it's too late. Didn't see arrows. Or maybe they mean here. Does it matter? They go to the same place. I rejoin 1 second later. Entered a weaker flow again, but this looks different. Might be our destination. No longer within our search zone. But the sparkles. Yep, no, we want to turn right. Like, kudos to you if you have any idea what's going on or where we are, but it does feel like there's just like a massive amount of copy-pasted roads. It doesn't quite have the flow and sort of like kind of satisfying passive vibes that the like say Cloudpunk has, a game where you are driving a taxi the entire game, and let's be honest, it's not mechanically intensive. Cloudpunk technically has vehicle damage and gas, but like, I don't think the vehicle damage can ever actually amount to anything, and you don't do much optimization. You usually don't have a time limit. You just kind of drive to your destination and listen to Grand Theft Auto style conversations play out, and then a huge, like, essentially like encountering a radio drama, and I get to hang out and just talk about and over it. By comparison, this game's driving feels more aimless and less satisfying and just kind of a little frustrating. There's something here. I'll activate the hopper now. Got there eventually. A mercy delivered upon me.
Open sands and deathly silence. This place was so old, even the ghosts had died.
NK. I don't feel right. It's the air here, Aliya. There is not enough. You will feel dizzy, lightheaded, and nauseous. You will eventually pass out. But you'll hopper me when it gets serious. Won't you? It is already serious. I will hopper you should it become dire. Okay, well, we're not going to be here very long. No time to waste then. Is that a front door? Okay. Might be a one and done limited discovery place, which is rough because it was work to get here. It won't open. Here's a minor thing that I keep meaning to mention that's weird. The game will hit you with an A prompt or a Y prompt in the environment. And sometimes when you move a little bit, when it changes your relationship to it physically, it changes from an A prompt to a Y prompt or vice versa. Like the button prompt will change between the two options. But pressing the wrong one still works. That's just strange to me. Like, it's not exactly a complaint. It's just really weird, and I don't know what to say about that. Why would it work that way? Why would they have two options for it? And why do they both work? But then why does it pick one specifically to show and then change them? But, like, to be clear, it's not blinking between the two on, like, a set rhythm, like you might in a thing where you have options. It's definitely doing it in response to my character moving sometimes. And it's just really weird. I just don't know what to make of that. It's very strange. What a strange implementation. Little rocks are too much for me. Okay, so here's a way in. Did my meter disappear? Am I fine now? Ooh. Weird glowy floor. Here's our way in. Look at this place.
The air should have reeked of ash and smoke. But no. Nothing. These walls were dry bones.
Dry bones are cute. They're funny. I think this place is ancient. Older than anything we've seen before. I agree, Aliya, but the materials, the construction, they're old, yes, but I would not say they were primitive. The frames are much the same as those on Elbereth. What happened to the people who built this place? Where did they go? I suppose they traveled, Aliya. They spread. The site is older than Iox, older than Elbereth. These people were settlers. Ancient sailors. And now people think it is immoral to sail. As though we had sprung up like weeds all over the Nebula. What do our ancestors think of us? It must have fallen from the floor above. I believe it was the floor, Elberethian. It's beautiful. Some kind of gemstone inlaid. There's an inscription too. Running around the edge of the circle here. Okay, that meter is not going down in any noticeable way. This one's a phrase run together. I think we're gonna be fine at exploring. It's just meant to convey the idea of it sucking here, basically. This one, oop. Give seems to show up twice. Nope, not there. But yes, here. Give of water. No, it's gonna be unhappy with me. You can maybe do this? No, there's a dot. Just gonna go ahead and just jam it in there. Let it get mad at me. It'll clean it up for me. Yeah, I definitely see where I'm not allowing entire words to fit. But I also don't see how to tangle it. All I can think of. Give of water is of for home? Oh, she continued. What is it? A geometric pattern? Some kind of insignia? It's not an eagle. Sun, that's for certain. Is there any other settlements here? On this moon? Not that I can see. People did not often come here. There's something poking out here. Just stone. Blackened. Fire must have been immense. Flames filling this space. It's amazing anything survived. If there were scrolls on these shelves, the fire reducing them to ashes. And the wind swept the ashes away. That is some awful bait from our perspective. That's exactly what we'd be hoping to find. Fire must have been terrible. Hot enough to blister the plaster. Perhaps even to use the moon's air. This is the door we saw on the other side. Stuck fast. So we're not opening that. And here I thought it might be a shortcut. We've already been on the other side of there. Stairs leading up. You alright? Lucky they were so stupidly built. Sturdily built. You...
Right on the brink was an enormous book on a curved metal stand.
This is a beautiful piece of work. Heavy, ornate, and the book is unscathed. That should be impossible, right? Are we hallucinating? I can't leave this here, but it's chained to the stand. There are symbols in the leather. This one is several words. I can add my translation for lost to my dictionary now. Of lost future. A history of lost future? It's a book? What does that mean? A book of prophecies? I want to know what's inside, but it's chained shut. This place must have been ornate once. Gilded, decorated. But whoever burned this place made sure to loot it first. Be careful up there, Elberethian fool. The floor is not solid. Beautifully set by the window, with a view across the dust. It seems to have escaped the fire. You can still see doodles scratched into lacquer by whoever worked here. Is that sand down there? Or ash? More inlaid circles. This one's inscribed around the edge as well. This one is a fractured piece from an even longer phrase. Whoa! Okay. Oh, that was a long unveiling. Okay. Well, and if it's there. Lost fits at the end. And so is will fit right before that. I'm over the squiggle. I don't think the squiggle standing alone is going to be smart and good. This goes right up to the comma, the apostrophe, so it's probably good there. 4 works there. X. And so path for then skies. We don't know if so is true. So close to having it right. I just have to see if that symbol's standalone. Or are we not counting? Oh. Cut the apostrophe out altogether. Not entirely sure what to make of that. Something else is probably about to get crossed out. Meter got a lot shorter. Yeah, I figured skies was wrong. Right in the middle there, it just didn't make sense, but I didn't know what to do with it. But with so being gone, that meant that we need a symbol seemingly that is just skies with an apostrophe in the front, like a new word. If they're saying that I can't use the apostrophe, then that means the apostrophe must be built into this new symbol that's not an option for me right now. That we probably will interpret. Takes us back to using stars. Potentially. Let's take out stars also. I think that's all a new symbol. They want me to put it in here? Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to approach these smartly, but it feels like trial and error is often the correct thing to do. It's hard to interpret what they are cutting out. The thing about the time limit is, couldn't I just come back? It feels like I should be able to just rest and then immediately come right back down here. Gonna cross out the middle character, aren't we? Vault? No, is. That one is the, yeah? Okay, so there must be a 6 symbol. There must be a 6 version, like the 6 squiggle and then the is. Must be a character we don't have yet. To make that part make sense. Yep. Will they remember the word so? And vault must be right too. Is that on the label of the game? Vault. Comma, comma, S lines. Yes. So those right there in the logo of the game are the characters for Heavens and Vault. That is, it was right there the entire time. So that thing that just got on the right, you can see on the right, to the right of my icon right now is the ending of the Heavens Vault little interstitial, little middle label thing there. And so the path for Heaven's Vault was lost. Yep, this is the past for was. That makes sense. And so the path for Heaven's Vault was lost. You hear that? You hear that, NK? There's a path to Heaven's Vault. Ancient, of course. But the doodles also have characters. There's a few words in this one. I want to rip the book off, obviously, but I also feel like the... oh, I don't have shit from here. don't know enough to understand this. I want to rip this book off, but it can't. There's no way it works. It probably wipes me out. Or no, maybe I can't. I can't even lift it right now. I'll have to leave the book behind. Huang would kill me if he found out. Well, you gotta come back with some bolt cutters. Must have been another level up here. Maybe several. Now there's just a drop.
My head was spinning.
Fool, your blood oxygen is alarmingly low. Get us off this rock, Empress. NK? Gonna have to hope for the best and just agonize over what we couldn't bring. Yep, we needed time to recover. How long was I out? About 20 minutes, Aliya. Was there anything down there to find? No. The place had been thoroughly burned. So what happens to the library now? Very little will happen to it, I think. Let me catch my breath, and then we'll go back. We cannot go back. The last of the air is gone. There are no plants to replenish it. Its story ends now. Really have gas tanks? All of the air? How did I breathe in all of it? There was not much. I suspect the fire that ravaged the building ensured that. Huh. Upsetting. Time to move on. They said gas mask. They mentioned gas tanks before. Air tanks for the ship? Do they not have any kind of technology for face masks? I need a face mask and bolt cutters. Is what I need. That's what we're down to. They want me to trade again? I'm not super fond of this part. I can do one last loop through Iox and Elbreth before I try going to the Ancient Aquifer again and see if I can accomplish something, but I don't love being told to go back to these places as often as I do. Because, one, it's just a trip in itself, but also, like, I usually have more to trade them and show them in the first place. They're just throttling me. I wonder if there are any ancient settlers still out here. Most likely not. It has been a long time. And we have not seen their boats. Well, we'll head on back, and we'll pick it up next episode. Could even be the last for all I know. Not sure how much is left.